Welcome back to the channel. Your boy Papa Shro is back, ready to get a dynasty started with the Missouri Tigers, and really debated kind of on this, kind of why I haven't really put much out on college football. Have streamed a little bit over on Twitch, so go check that out. I'll drop the link in the description below, but kind of debating how I want to do this, or who I want to start with exactly. I kind of just started this one for fun, and I'm already a couple weeks into this, so I'm kind of already behind on the content making aspect of this Missouri Tigers dynasty, as you will see in a couple of different places here where I'm gonna have to block some stuff out, as we're already, I think, 3 weeks into the season now, or 2 weeks into the season, 2 games in nonetheless, and you can kind of see some of the stats already a little altered. So we'll get into it, see how you guys enjoy this, and me and EDJ planning on starting a dynasty online as well together. I'm not sure who else is going to be in on that, but I do want to make content out of that one, so that's why I kind of wasn't really sure if I wanted to go ahead and start with the Missouri Tigers. I wanted to make one with Mizzou for myself, and one of the great things about this, because I haven't been huge into college football the last few years, since Missouri went to the SEC is kind of where I stopped kind of paying attention to college football as much, and really haven't stayed informed whatsoever. So the great part about the NIL deals and the college football game coming back is I'm getting to learn the team a little bit, heading into this season. From what I kind of got back into, watched at least a little bit of just about every game last year for the Tigers, and now this year excited to kind of see just playing the game and getting familiar with a lot of these teams, kind of bringing back the joys as a kid playing and watching college football. College football has always been huge, but just, I don't know, when the Tigers went to the SEC, it just felt wrong, and it started to kind of feel more like, okay, at this point, about 10 years in, I think, to the SEC at this point. So just going to get a quick overview of the roster. I'm going to go position by position here, and I'm not going to get into recruiting just because, like I said, I'm a few weeks in already, so we'll kind of catch up to that when we catch up to it and go over that, which I might be doing terrible. I'm not sure. Like, literally, I haven't watched anything on recruiting. I'm just kind of winging it, and we'll see how good or bad we do here, with me being the head coach of the Missouri Tigers here, going into our first season, taking over for Eli Drinkwitz, which I don't think they don't have any of the real coaches in the game. That was the one kind of minor detail that was a little annoying. But the one thing that EA I just don't understand is the fact that, and it might be like a legal thing or something, because I know with the college football game, when they thought Arch Manning wasn't going to be in the game, you weren't going to be able to rename anybody Arch Manning or edit the players like that. But, they add coordinators to Madden, and now you have, full coaching staffs on NCAA or college football. I don't think they have the NCAA licensing anymore, but the college football game, at least give me the power to edit the coaches. And I know obviously back in the day is different because, they were getting around with loopholes anyways, but you could edit all the coaching, and even in Madden 06, 07, all back in the day, they had real coordinators in there. All of the real coordinators that were offensive, defensive coordinators for every single team, and special teams coordinator for that matter, were all actually in the game. So we don't see that on the Madden side. You can't edit your coordinators. And then here on college football, it doesn't look like, unless you create a coach, you can't edit any of the coaches on the game. So I don't know, a little bit of a gripe and a little bit nitpicky, because I guess at least we have coordinators at this point. But it's just like, it's the gripe that everybody gives Madden, especially, and college football. This game it's got its flaws obviously, but it's been a much better experience than Madden, I feel. I really haven't had any negative experiences with this game yet. Too bad, at least. Obviously, you can make a bad play or two, you're going to frustrate yourself. But nonetheless, let's jump into the team. We got Brady Cook, redshirt senior, had a great year last year. Honestly, I don't know what. And actually, I may not go to that just because I don't know where the stats are even going to pop up. I haven't even been that deep into the game. The game came out. I was gone for work. I brought my PlayStation with me. Didn't get much time to play. The week after that, went on vacation. I've been in Florida all week. Didn't take my PlayStation down there, so haven't played this game hardly at all. I just really Sunday night when I was streaming, right after the stream, I ended up playing. I guess these 2 games that I've already played on this franchise, or Dynasty, excuse me. So that's really all I've played. I played like one other game in Play Now. I've played the training games to kind of get acquainted with the game a little bit. Plus, that's, fun, kind of going back to having all the mini games in the game, along with how Madden brought back training camp. So that's really all I've done on this game. So I said recruiting, I'm kind of winging it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing really, but hey, we're looking to get some good recruits in. So, Brady Cook, excited to see what he can do for us this year, coming into his senior year. After that, we've got Sam Horn and a couple of seniors with a freshman, Aiden Glover, at a 71 overall, 76 speed. Sam Horn's got a 73 speed. Both of them with a 77 awareness. Horn's got better throwing power. Looks like his accuracy all around is a little bit better. So Sam Horn's probably going to be the guy of the future, unless we find someone else recruiting that could come in and play. I'd imagine Sam Horn takes the reins next year for us. Looking at running back, we've got Nate Noel, Marcus Carroll, both seniors, and Tavoris Jones. Jamal Roberts, who's a freshman. Tavoris Jones is a sophomore. And then all 3 of these guys, obviously, you can see redshirted Austin Madison, also a redshirt junior, and freshman Darren Green. No fullbacks on the roster, which Missouri doesn't really want to run anything requiring a fullback. Luther Burden III, he's a junior. Hopefully we can keep him around for a senior year. Fingers crossed there. Theo Weiss Jr. and Mookie Cooper will both be gone after this year, both redshirt seniors. Junior and McKee Miller. And then you've got Marcus Johnson, a sophomore. Jamarian Wayne, who's also a sophomore. A couple more sophomores in Josh Manning and Daniel Blood. Then we got Davon Carmichael and Matt Clancy rounding it out for the receiving core. Hopefully we can get some of these sophomores to develop. And we'd like to see the juniors stick around, especially Luther Burden. Obviously, Luther Burden, with Brady Cook being the last year, I could see Burden moving on, depending on what kind of season we have with him. 94 overall, 94 speed, 95 awareness, 97 catching, 96 catch in traffic, 91 spectacular catch. I mean, great route running, great release, 87 overall, 92 jumping, 70 overall in the carrying. We're gonna have a fun season offensively, I think, with Luther Burden in there, and see what we can do. And the Missouri playbook. So I've only played with Missouri on this game pretty much. I honestly don't know if I've played with anybody else. I kind of downloaded some teams and I played like the first quarter of Missouri State versus Haskell, and I think that's about it, other than Ultimate Team. And the Ultimate Team Challenges, the base playbook is just like an old school wishbone or flexbone type offense. So moving on to tight end, Brett Norfleet. He is a sophomore, and we got Tyler Stevens, a senior. After that, we got a couple of sophomores and a freshman down here. So I mean, Brett Norfleet, I mean, absolutely perfect, I think, for the offense. So from what I've played so far versus what I've played in this dynasty as well, because I think the only other game I played, I started a Missouri versus Kansas game. I played like a half of that, I think. Ended up cutting it off, I think going to work or something like that, and came back and restarted that game. I want to say I restarted that game like 3 times. I think I played the first half like 2 different times, and then I was finally able to sit down and play the full game. I think once I got home, something like that. Anyways, So that is really all I've played is Missouri versus Kansas. And we'll look at the schedule in a minute because the first game of the year will be the Border War returning with Mizzou going to Lawrence to play at Kansas. Although, interesting to note, which there was only a couple of years where Arrowhead Stadium was on the college game, and I don't remember what years they were because by the time that the Border War started to be played at Arrowhead at the end of the Big 12 for Missouri was when the Big 12 championship game got switched to San Antonio and played in the Alamo Dome. So while that was going on, Arrowhead was not in the game and you couldn't play Missouri versus Kansas at Arrowhead. Always will be a gripe with me, I feel like, with the college games. Why not just throw all of them in there? Why not just throw all the pro stadiums in there? You would think that would be easy to translate one to the other. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not a programmer, so I couldn't tell you. But I would like to, just have the access to have all of the NFL stadiums. When you could just throw neutral site games. I don't love the way that the game does with any of the... Well, maybe there's another mode. I can't remember. I know there was a national championship mode to play the national title game. I think there is one more for bowl games or something to that effect. So you can play bowl games on exhibition, but I haven't really looked around to see if there's any of... Supposedly, I thought I heard on the, everything coming out towards the beginning of the release that I thought that we had... like the kickoff games in Dallas and things like that. Anyways, what I was trying to get at before I went off on that tangent was Kansas is going to play, I think, all of their home games at Arrowhead Stadium this year. So, funny enough, Kansas playing all of their home games in the state of Missouri for 2024. I might be wrong. It might be like half the season. But I just know that I've gotten plenty of emails about that. About wanting me to purchase tickets to go see Kansas play at Arrowhead. So, Lawrence, the stadium in Kansas, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but under renovations for this year. I don't know what all they're renovating at the stadium. I've actually never been out there, but anyways, left tackle. We got junior Mike Rutherford. Freshman redshirted Brandon Solis. And he is 72 overall, right behind our 74 overall. That's the junior. 75 awareness to 63 awareness. The sophomore here has an 86 awareness. Curtis Piegler. And then we've got Caleb Pyfrom. Excuse me. I actually like the prospects we have at left tackle here. That 86 awareness... I mean, awareness can make you really good on the game. Like, that is, I think we all know that's like the golden stat right there, especially for a position like left tackle. Left guard, we got the 88 overall sophomore, Caden Green. Logan Reichert, left guard, 78 overall. Good awareness on these guys, 83, 78. So, offensive line, we're kind of set up. 76 overall sophomore. 69 overall freshman, but I will be interested to see how it works once the transfer portal starts to happen in the game, because I haven't played, obviously, through that at all. I've played a couple of weeks into Dynasty. I don't know what an off-season looks like or anything like that. Redshirted junior center, 88 overall, is Connor Tollison, and then we have Drake Heismeyer, that is a 77 overall senior, and he is redshirted, so we're going to definitely lose one center. I would assume Tollison will stay for his senior year. I don't think he will probably turn pro at 86 overall. See where he ends up at the end of the year. Right guard will probably need some help recruiting-wise. We got Cameron Johnson, 81 overall senior, and then Tristan Wilson, the sophomore, who has a terrible 56 awareness. Hopefully that progresses before next year. We're going to find a right guard out there, either in the transfer portal or, recruiting-wise. We have Armand Membu, right tackle, 86 overall, 85 awareness. We have another senior that we're going to lose, Mitchell Walters, redshirted senior, 76 overall. And then Ryan Justice, who is the freshman, the true freshman, at right tackle, 69 overall. So maybe have a couple of years to try to develop Justice and see where we go. I don't know what I'm doing there. Trying to see Mizzou's defensive line now. A couple of redshirted seniors, Johnny Walker Jr. and Joe Moore, 83 and 78 overall, 87 awareness on Walker Jr. Jarek Harris, 77 overall end. He's a junior, sophomore. Luke Graham, and I think we're going to need some help on the edge here. I don't know. I mean, we're probably going to end up having to trust Jarek Harris at least for a year next year. He's got a 72 awareness, 84 strength, 73 speed, decent, I guess. We'll see. On the other side, Devin Blaylock, Zion Young, and Darius Smith are all juniors with a 69 overall. Larry Jones, that's a redshirt freshman over here. So got some good young talent that may be able to help out on the other side, get us an opening where we can develop some talent down the line. But defense is pretty set. They're pretty good. I mean, look at all the dudes that went just this last year in the first and second round. I think it was like 3 or 4 guys on defense that went in the first or second round for the Missouri Tigers. And then, of course, Nick Bolton in recent memory for the Chiefs. He's been awesome and, had a great run at Mizzou as well. The Mizzou defense has really turned around. When I was a kid, defense wasn't worth anything. And, the offense was out there scoring. Chase Daniel, Jeremy Macklin. I mean, those guys. I mean, Sean Witherspoon you had come out of Mizzou, of course. I'm probably forgetting 1 or 2. Ziggy Hood went in the first round to the Steelers. It was picked 32. I think it was the year after they won the Super Bowl, or maybe 31 after they lost to the Packers. Not 100% sure what year that was that Ziggy Hood came out, but looking at defensive tackle, though, speaking of a defensive tackle, senior Christian Williams, I'm assuming, and Chris McClellan, junior. Got some young talent here at defensive tackle. Clayton Monroe, senior, 70 overall, sophomore, 74 overall, junior. I think D-tackle looks decent. And honestly, I'm about to have to readjust recruiting, I think. Just going through this. Like I said, I already went 2 or 3 weeks in. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this series with Mizzou. So, I mean, we'll see how far we continue and keep on going with the Mizzou Dynasty past these first few episodes. If you like it, though, make sure you smash that like button. Let me know. Comment below if you want to keep seeing the Mizzou Dynasty as we're just kind of getting into it right now, looking at the team. Tommy Reese and Brady Holtman at left outside linebacker, 2 freshmen, 63-61 overall. That does not look good whatsoever. We got some other position linebackers, though, that are going to help us out. 80 overall senior Chuck Hicks, Khalil Jacobs, the junior, and Corey Flagg Jr., the senior. Will Norris is also a senior. You got a couple of freshmen, 67, 66 overall. We'll see how they progress. Obviously, Khalil Jacobs is going to be huge for us next year, as he's going to be the only one returning that we know is going to be at a starter level so far in the linebackers. Senior, 79 overall, Tristan Newson. And then you got freshman Jeremiah Beasley that I think is going to be good for us. 73 overall, 68 awareness. See where he kind of progresses at pass coverage linebacker, which is really what you need at this point. The way, I guess it depends, just a lot of different stuff in college football, obviously, and already getting into the playbooks, and even just this Missouri playbook is kind of wild, and I'm really enjoying playing with the Mizzou playbook and just seeing some of these different offenses and defenses in the game. Brayshawn Littlejohn, the redshirted freshman, 67 overall. He's got a 59 awareness, so I mean, he's got a lot further to go than Beasley here. Linebacker's not looking great, and not looking good at like a good setup for next year. So definitely gonna have to recruit. Toriano Pride Jr., 85 overall, 92 speed, 95 acceleration, 94 agility. It's got the 83 overall awareness, 85 overall. Let's cross our fingers he'll be back next year. Drayden Norwood, the junior that redshirted. And then we've got a senior here, 77 overall. That's Marcus Clark. Trajan Greco, 74 overall freshman, 66 awareness. I mean, looks like he is, most of these guys are zone. Kind of looking at these, well, kind of a split between man-to-man and zone. But Greco, I think, that's kind of sneaky. Freshman, 74 overall. He might be able to be a star DB for us in a year or two. That's good to see. The secondary is going to be solid. Junior Marcus Fitzgerald, 73 overall. Redshirted freshman Nicholas DeLoach. Redshirted sophomore, and then redshirted freshman, another true freshman, Cameron Keys. Everybody above a 70 overall, cornerback-wise. That's solid. I think we got a pretty good setup here for the future for these guys. Greg Swift, the junior, 74 overall. He's got a 73 overall awareness. That's solid. Got a redshirted junior, 70 overall. So looks like with Deion Gamble, won't really miss anything, which is good having that. Kind of the bench built up. Dalen Carnell, junior, redshirted junior, 82 overall, 82 awareness, 88 speed. That's solid. Sophomore, then 88 speed, Marvin Burks Jr. A couple more sophomores, everybody above the 70 overall. So the linebackers are looking rough, but the secondary hopefully going to bail them out. Blake Craig, redshirted freshman, 72 overall. I think that's good. Tom Demps Maddox is our punter, 66 overall. That's all right. We won't be doing much punting this year. All right. So that is your 2024 Mizzou Tigers as we look at and heading into it. Like I said, when we get further down the road, probably 2 weeks in. So I think by week 3, you can expect a recruiting update and report. In that episode, when we get there to the Illinois Illini, as we are going to look at the schedule now. If I can figure out where it's at. Team schedule. Bye week on week 0. Week 1, we're going to Lawrence, Kansas to play the Kansas Jayhawks and renew the border war, as that is one thing that I kind of wanted to do, that every year, as long as, I plan to stay at Mizzou unless we get fired, because I do have all of that set to on. So if we do end up getting fired, until then, we're going to be with the Missouri Tigers, and every year, I think we're just going to kick the year off with the Kansas game. Used to, it was the last game of the year. I can't really set it to the last game of the year, I don't think. There's probably some settings that I could change to where I could set that as the last game of the year, but I might mess with that down the road if I can, unless that was just an initial setting. But James Madison at home the following week, and then we get Illinois, another rivalry game at home. Tried to, play as many rivalry games as we can. I know Iowa State's kind of the other one, but I figured, which we could have put them on the schedule, I guess, instead of James Madison. But so maybe next year we'll look at that. Illinois, week 3, then week 4 we play Vanderbilt, the SEC debut or opener, I should say. Bye week 5, then we get Texas A&M on the road in week 6. Kennesaw State week 7 at home at Furrow Field. Saturday, October 19th, week 8, it'll be Auburn. Shout out to Measy. That's his team. We'll see what we can do against Auburn until we got to play Alabama week 9 on the road in Tuscaloosa. Week 10, bye week again, and then we have Oklahoma week 11. That is at home in Columbia. That'll be an interesting game. Obviously, I mean, if you know, Oklahoma's always been a tough out for Mizzou, so we'll see if we can get by Oklahoma. South Carolina week 12, Mississippi State week 13, week 14 it is the other border war with Arkansas, and that is week 14 to round out the season. By week 15, conference championship game the following week, so we'll see if we can get in the SEC championship game this year. And I mean, I'm looking at definitely trying to make a playoff spot. Coming into the season ranked top 10. I really do think we should be able to at least make the playoffs. I think the toughest games on the schedule is obviously at Bama, Oklahoma, just because as a Mizzou fan, I think, especially growing up the time that I did, talking about the Chase Daniel and Jeremy Maclin teams, it seemed like Oklahoma was always... I mean, look at the year where Missouri dominated Kansas, and I'm pretty sure they were 1-2 that week. That was a game at Arrowhead where College Game Day was at Arrowhead for the Missouri-Kansas game, and Missouri beats Kansas, dominates Kansas. Then the following week goes to the Big 12 championship game, gets dominated by Sam Bradford and that Oklahoma team, and in return, the Jayhawks, who just lost to the Tigers, get the Orange Bowl, a BCS game, and the Tigers have to settle for playing maybe the most dangerous Arkansas team of all time with Ryan Mallett, Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis. The team was stacked. And the Tigers still beat them, knock them off in the Cotton Bowl. So, obviously, Cotton Bowl, probably the biggest bowl game that's not a BCS game or was a BCS game. Like I said, I've been out of the loop college football-wise for quite some time. I don't even know exactly how that works with the bowl games anymore, other than obviously the playoff. But so absolutely screwed the Tigers there in getting to a BCS game, and the Tigers would probably have a BCS, bowl win if somehow, some way, I don't know how you give the bowl game to the team that lost. It's just a more recent loss, even though the Tigers lost to a better team, obviously, than themselves, because then they went to play the national championship game that year. And I'm pretty sure that was the Oklahoma versus Florida year, where I'm pretty sure Florida beat Oklahoma for the national title. It was one of Tim Tebow's. Good times in college football, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to get back into college football this year. I'm excited to watch more, pay attention to other games, and a lot of shakeups in college football this year. So that's going to do it, I think. So kind of went over the schedule. I do expect us to make the playoffs this year and contend at least for the SEC championship. Obviously, with the situation I just explained with the Kansas-Oklahoma Mizzou thing, one more caveat to that was you can't have more than 2 teams in the BCS bowl games, more than 2 from the same conference. So that's what penalized Mizzou. They gave it to the nod to Kansas over Mizzou, even though their last game they had just lost to the Tigers. Anyways, I digress. But we're going to jump into this. I'm excited for it. So probably going to have a whole nother Dynasty going on the channel as well. We'll see if I don't know, one of those I may continue, one of those I might not. Be streaming over on Twitch as well. I streamed a little bit, some kind of Ultimate Team challenges earlier at the beginning of the week. I do plan on streaming more, especially with these Dynasties and playing those over there, and then translating them over here to YouTube. So I'm gonna put that link in the description below. Smash the like button if you enjoyed, and hit that subscribe button. The like button really helps. Subscribe button helps a ton. We're on the road to 300. Smash that 200. Check out the podcast. Just had a podcast over training camp, obviously happening. And let me know what you'd like to see: more college football content, more MLB The Show content, or should I just stick to covering the Chiefs? I don't know. Let me know. We'll see you in the next one.